dearest overthinker. This one's for you if you feel like everything's happening all at once, but nothing's really happening at the same time. If you feel like everyone's got their lives figured out and they're racing ahead and you're just stuck in the same loop, in the same place, and you're falling behind. My name's Amber, and I'm what you would call a self proclaimed professional overthinker. I don't have a lot of the answers. Instead, I have too many questions and I'm figuring it out as it comes and goes. But hopefully, with this podcast, and especially this being its first episode, I really hope to have some comfort for anyone going through anything similar as me. This podcast isn't meant to be some profound banner of self reflection, nor is it meant to be about self pity. Instead, it's meant to be that reminder that you're not alone and that what you may think is a failure, or you may think that things aren't happening the way they're supposed to and they're not happening at the right time and your world's a mess and it's all just pain and misery and doom. That might just not be the case, and you just need to take a deep breath in, take a step back, and realize things will be okay. So let's start with where I'm at, because perhaps that might be where you're at as well. Sometimes for me personally, I genuinely feel like everyone around me has everything figured out. They know what they want to do, they know how they want to do it, and despite my many efforts in being like them, I'm just here. And even though I want something in my head, I try and I'm so convinced that I want something, I'm not able to achieve it. And there's this quiet panic, and there's this quiet panic in my chest that I'm not living up to my potential. Instead, I'm wasting it and I'm not becoming the person that I'm meant to be, this great person. And there are these hypotheticals, these could haves, and these what ifs keep me up at night. All these stupid mistakes that I've made, which I could have easily avoided. These things that I could have done differently, which would have changed the outcome of where I'm at today. What I sometimes consider a failure. And sometimes, and it's not like I'm naive enough to be blind to all the things that are going for me. Have too many wonderful and beautiful things. So I don't really have a real problem. It's just a champagne problem. So is this an extremely privileged is this an extremely privileged feeling that I have, or is it entirely superficial in itself? And because of that, I don't know what to do. So I just keep moving, I just keep going ahead. And it's not because I feel inspired or because I feel some innate passion for doing better, being better, or making the world around me better, but just because I don't want to look like a failure who's given up and who whines without even trying. But and when I don't have the energy to even and sorry, my bad, but there are times where I don't even have the energy to show up like that, where I could not even care less. And then there are times where I do care, and I care so much, and that's the only thing I care about. This wild insecurity that I'm behind has grown so massive that it now feels like people are judging me, like I've let them down somehow, like they had faith in me and I've proven them wrong. And maybe that's the scariest part. Not that I doubt myself, but that everyone else has started doubting me too. And I'm supposed to be this role model, this person who has everything figured out because I made the plans. I try to follow the plans. And I was supposed to be this force to be reckoned with, this feminist role model who was good at, who was everything, who was an academic, a philosopher, an activist, an athlete, and I was great, and I should have been great at everything, but that drive and that ambition is gone. And what am I supposed to do now? Now I don't have the energy to care, and this weight of anticipated doom and this crippling sense of failure and doubt just keeps weighing me down. It acts like a mind block and prevents me from taking any action forward, even though I try. And I know I want to. I know I don't want to feel this way. So now what? That's exactly what this podcast is for. We don't have to have our life figured out by 25. And it might be brave saying all of this, but truly, it's genuinely how I feel. We all have our own timelines, so we should go easy on ourselves. I know the perfectionist, the overachiever in you screams at every flaw and insecurity you have, but I promise they make you more human. They make you grow, which is the most important thing. And lastly, they make your story far more interesting to say. The truth is, we've been fed these unrealistic standards and these timelines, especially in certain Asian households, of when we're supposed to reach these milestones and how we're supposed to reach them. And they're all entirely made up. There's no actual reason for us to be fulfilling these standards. In fact, break the cycle. The world loves conformity and putting us into these imaginary boxes, and it's slowly making us into clones of one another. Okay, fine. I finished high school, great marks. Then I did university, fabulous. Then a master's, perhaps if I'm feeling a little bit fancy, a PhD. Then what? Then I get a job. Then I get married. Then I have kids. And then what? Then I live out the rest of my days doing what? Living, getting a better job, going to family events. What was, and whilst I'm not saying that these milestones aren't important, of course they are. I'm just saying that these superficial timelines that we've been fed this race, that the person who finishes it first is a successful person, is not real. It's superficial and it's not worth getting hating yourself for. And especially in this day and age, observing the political and economic state of the world right now, and as performative as it may sound, truly, there just that statement. There are far too many problems right now. There are too many horrible things happening for us to be so fixated on fulfilling overly glorified this overly glorified form of success. I genuinely believe that if if fulfilling this timeline doesn't somehow directly make the world, as idealistic as it may sound, a better place, there is no reason for us to be fulfilling it as fast as possible. And it we should not be chasing these superficial paradigms that we aren't sure we believe in, because I feel like with how much we know today, we should be sure of what we want to do and how we want to impact the world and what our place in the world means for us. And I know sometimes it feels that we're stuck in some never-ending cynical simulation that keeps testing every noble virtue we possess, but we will get through it. We will get through it. And you need to believe that. You need to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, I did say that. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And we have to believe that even though it might seem entirely unrealistic, we have to believe that with every fiber of our being, and it has to be that dramatic, that there are things so fabulous out there coming your way you will never even fathom to hope for them. And that, there's no thugging it out. And believe me, I was a victim of trial and error for far too long and probably still will be. And I think the second, arguably most important step is to sing Hakuna Matata with the vehemence of embodying every single word. And I mean embodying every single word, because what does it say? Even though it's just a Disney song, it means a lot to me. Firstly, because the tune goes crazy. Secondly, as Pumba said, it means no worries for the rest of your day. And that's exactly how you should be dealing with it, because at the end of the day, Disney did teach us something. The second less important step is to ignore the voices both inside your head and outside. And kind of just say screw it. Take a very small step and break this mountain of a task you have ahead of you into a very small digestible task. And truly take it one step at a time. And even though that might seem hard, breaking it down into something that you look forward to is just the only way to slowly make strides towards that kind of change we want to see in our life. And lastly, the third, and in my opinion, the most significant step, is to readjust your expectations. You don't have to have everything figured out today, or tomorrow, or by the end of this week. Go easy on yourself. It would be such a shame to burn out and lose oneself in the pursuit of everything. Truly think about what you want to believe, and this is something I tell myself, my younger self, in a heartbeat if I could. Most of us have the privilege to think about the kind of person we want to become and ask ourselves a very important question about what impact do I want to have on the world with the one life that we have. So, and with with the amount of information that we have around us, I think it's a completely attainable goal where we try and figure out what purpose we have and where our stance is in this humongous world. And yeah, put effort into knowing who you want to become and work on it and redefine your version of success instead of pursuing this version of success that we've been sold over and over again. While success is one of the most arbitrary and subjective things out there, it can be anything, it can be nothing, or it could be everything. At the end of the day, things might go according to plan, or it might simply not. If you need to talk it out, vent it out, scream it out, it's completely fine. Personally, I do all three in that order. If you don't believe me, ask my friends. Because honestly, soon no one's going to remember the test you failed, or the grade you got, or the school you didn't get into, or the race you lost, or the job you didn't get, or the year you fell off. One day, all of it will feel so small that you will be able to laugh over it with dinner, laugh over it over dinner with your friends, and it'll be just one of those things that you can tell your kids about. About how you rise from the ashes and became some cinematic phoenix. I fear I always have to go with the more dramatic of the options just because I have to fulfill the Bollywood in my culture. Anyways, and as I have to importantly also mention, remember, regret won't change the past. No amount of anxiety, and I mean no amount of anxiety, even though it takes away sleep, no amount of anxiety will change the future. So enjoy today. And as it was once very, very importantly said in an extremely culturally significant film, Carpe Diem, seize the day. Seize the day. Because we only have one life, so live it to the fullest. And celebrate the little wins. Learn from your small failures. It's all part of the journey. And what you're meant to do, you will fulfill and you'll achieve it. And it does not have to be at the time you think it's best for you. If it'll come to you when it is best for you. Believe in this divine intervention that things will come to you when they need to, and if something doesn't come your way, that's just how it's meant to be. And on a final note, I just wanted to say we're going to be okay. We're probably not doing as horribly as we think we are. We're actually not doing as horribly as we think we are. Let me say that with more confidence as it is. And you're not alone. And you just need to trust that if something's going your way, it's happening for the best, and if something's not going your way, it's also for the best, and it's just the case. And you might not understand it right now, but maybe in a couple of years, it'll probably be the best thing that's ever happened for you. Trust that this mistake or this feeling you have is probably the most important for your growth. Anyways, any form of trauma, any form of difficulty only leads to character development. And how are you supposed to enter your main character era or main character arc without a few struggles on the way, you know? So that's what I have to just say. Like, it's going to be fine. You're not a failure. This gloom and doom that you feel right now, it's going to end, and you're going to be fine. And things will not always be this horrible, even though it feels that way right now, and it's feels like this permanent feeling, and it feels that it's going to take over your life. It's not. You just have to believe that. You have to believe that things happen for the best. And yeah, just live every single day as a new one. At least try your best to do so, and take every single moment one step at a time. That's all I have to say today. I really hope that this was my first episode, so excuse the glitchiness of the mic. I fidgeted with it, and I didn't realize it after I rewatched it afterwards, and I took far too many takes. And I just liked that one, so I decided to stick with it. And I'm pretty sure there were mic glitches in the other ones as well. But I really hope it made you feel slightly more reassured, if anything, and it made you feel less alone. And hopefully, it probably gave you some tips, maybe, or some sort of some sort of help for you to move forward and get over this feeling which you think is unique. It's not. and it's you're not alone in it, and you're going to be fine. But that's all I have to say for today. So, yours truly, Umber, I'm gonna go now, and I will hopefully see you next week. So till then, bye bye.